Anytime.
Imagine yourself floating weightlessly, effortlessly breathing 40 feet below the surface of the crystal clear waters of the Bahamas, being surrounded by the most colorful fish in the tropics, as you can see here. I want to introduce you guys to scuba diving. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what scuba is, how do you get into it, and what you can do as a scuba diver. First off, scuba is an acronym. It stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. And is it safe? Well, according to the Divers Alert Network, 1 out of 211,864 dives ends in a fatality. To compare that to a couple other things, in 2008, 1 out of every 5,555 licensed drivers in the United States died. Or 1 out of every 126,000 marathon runners suddenly died of cardiac arrest when they were running. So, is it safe? Twice as safe as running. And the most popular way is by using an aqua lung, which is this, what he's kind of got on. You can see it better in a picture like this. The aqua lung is the buoyancy compensator and these three. It's just what you breathe out of. Another way of doing it is with a rebreather, and that's just a more complicated, way more expensive, that pretty much only Navy SEALs and other special operations use because you can't see the bubbles coming back up. And a little bit about the equipment. Buoyancy compensator. That's what you use to control your buoyancy. That's why you can be weightless. What you have in here is a couple of weights, which obviously make you sink, but then it also has a sack of air inside it that helps you flow back up, kind of like a fish does. These are your regulators. You have 2 of them because you always dive with a buddy, and if yours breaks, then you can take his. Or if his breaks, he can take yours. Or if yours breaks, you can just use your secondary. Your pressure gauge, pretty necessary, and it's nice to know how much air you have down there. Dive computer, see how deep you are. And then the rest is just your wetsuit, your soft gear for your goggles, your snorkel. Fins, like to move fast. Air tank, nice to have air. And the aqua lung was invented by 2 Frenchmen, Jacques Cousteau and Emily Gagan, in Paris during the winter of 1942 to 1943. Now that we know a little bit about the equipment here, let's go dive. Can't do that. The reason that it's so safe is because everybody that dives has been certified. And they've been certified by a PADI diver. PADI stands for Professional Association of Dive Professionals. They're the people who instruct you, they teach you how to dive, and how to be safe when you're diving. Personally, I did my class 2 years ago at Minnesota School of Diving in Brainerd, Minnesota. This isn't a picture of my class, but it's about the same thing. You go into a pool, after a couple days in the classroom, you suit up, and then you're just down there swimming around, getting used to the equipment. You have to take your equipment off a couple times, but it's all pretty easy. And it's the most relaxing thing you'll ever find in the world. Right now, you're sitting here, you can feel your weight. When you're in the water, you don't feel anything. There's not really too much to learn about it. A couple hand signals, just A-OK. You don't want to do this, because that means up. Let's get out. So, every time you do that, that's what it means. A little bit of, like if you go like that, it means you don't have any air. That means you go up. Nothing too much to worry about other than you got to be down, you have to plan your dive, which means if you want to be down 100 feet, you can only be down there for a certain amount of time or else nitrogen fixation happens. That's where little bubbles of nitrogen start building up in your body. And if you go up too fast, then those bubbles will start to enlarge because the pressure shrinks all air down. When you start coming up too quick, you can get the bends by those bubbles expanding in your body. Hurts real bad, and it can possibly kill you. But since you train, it doesn't happen. Scuba diving. Is it only for fun? Can you only have a good time when you're down there? Well, yeah, it is really fun. And you can't help but have fun doing it. But you can also have a career. You can be an underwater welder, you can be a search and rescue diver, you can be a salvage diver, and many more things. And other than that, it's a very affordable and inexpensive way to spend a day after you get certified anyways. But even though, that's not very expensive. This is a cleanup dive. It's pretty important to the coral reefs that people go out and clean them up. You don't need to be too qualified to do this, but it's nice to have a little bit of knowledge, because you don't want to be going down there and picking apart the reef, taking out all the things that people have dropped down, but fish actually use that stuff after it's down there for a little while. And even though you can't not have fun when you're diving, you can still make a career out of it and make money doing it.